Why do I post videos on YouTube? Hey guys, welcome back to another video. And today, I'm basically just gonna be talking about, what the overall, goal is for my channel. Essentially just what the grand vision isn't what the grand vision is for my channel, as well as basically what the meaning of this channel is. Okay. And so when I post videos, my whole goal is to try and help people. I was taught from a very young age that I should leave the world better than where I found it, and that I should make the world a better place, or at least help others do that. And so with my channel, my main goal is to try and help you guys, even if it means that I only help one person. That's more than enough of a reason for why I should keep going. But it's whether it's improving your habits, whether it's improving your health, physically or mentally, or it's improving, maybe it's the way you interact with others socially, whether it's how you talk to girls, how you approach girls, how you handle social situations, how you handle conflict, and basically conflict resolution, and so many other things, as well as just having a view, or just how you view life. And I want to make this clear. My goal is not to tell you what to do and you basically obey it as if I'm, some sort of head of a gospel. Basically everything I'm saying is an opinion that's backed up with facts sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes. Sometimes it's backed up with facts, data, and statistics. Other times it's not. And I believe it's pretty easy, for people to see that. Because again, I'm not an expert. I'm just 18 years old, and the common view I have, or the common thing I say, is I don't really know anything, and it's kind of like the quote Socrates said, the more I learn, the more I realize I know nothing. And so I kind of keep, even if I research a lot about something and I think I know everything, I really don't. And and that's why I remind myself that, because it's a constant reassurance that you have more to learn than you think. No matter what it is, whether you're trying to specialize in a certain field, whether maybe you're a baseball player and you're trying to improve your craft, or, you're a freelancer and you want to improve, your work, and you want to do, for example, let's say you're a freelancer and you're working on video editing, and you want your videos to be done in half the time, but the quality is still just as good. And so when it comes to stuff like that, you may think you know a lot because you've learned a lot over, let's say the span of, it could be as short as a year or maybe several years. But it doesn't mean you know everything. You don't. I don't. Honestly, nobody does. Because even experts, they know a lot about one thing, one niche, but the other, thousands of niches, they know little to nothing about, which means basically they know, let's say if there's 10,000 niches out there, okay? They know a lot, they know a lot about one niche. They know a lot about 1 out of 10,000 of things, which means if you say, let's just for whole numbers, let's say they know 90% of a niche, okay? I think you can get the point, but point is, even if they know a lot about one thing, they don't know a lot about everything, because there's a lot of things they don't know that if they spent the time to search it out and try and find that information, they'd be reminded, and sometimes they'll be brutally reminded, whether it's, from arrogance or from being stubborn or, from being prideful, that they don't know anything. Or maybe the better term is they don't know a lot. Because it's not that we don't know anything, it's just we don't know a lot. I don't know if you know about the Dunning-Kruger effect, but the Dunning-Kruger effect is it's basically pretty good for business. But it starts with, basically I'll give you like the Sparks Notes version. You start out knowing absolutely nothing about a topic. You learn a little bit, and then you think you know everything. Then over the course of time, you realize that there's more to it than you thought. And then you think that's going to be impossible. You're not going to learn everything. And then once you know a lot about your concept or about your field or your topic, let's say, 90%, then you're like, okay, you don't have as much confidence as you did when you knew very little about the subject, but you know that the subject is complicated. And so you may be asking, what does this have to do with, with the topic of this video? I don't want to come across like I don't know anything. Or no, let me phrase that. I misspoke. I don't want to come across like I know everything, because I don't. I just don't, I'm not Nostradamus. I'm not God. Nobody is except him. So I don't know everything. I can't foresee anything. Maybe I can predict things, once in a while, but I don't know that much, And so my advice, to leave you guys, give you something to leave with, is try to learn something new every day. Because if you continue to learn something new, then the amount that you can learn over, years will do a lot to improve your life than you may think. And I forget who said this quote. I don't know if it might have been Alex Hormozy, but it was, people overestimate how much they can get done in a year, and they underestimate how much they can get done in a decade. And so, if you learn something new every day, for let's say 5 years, again, it's going to do a lot more to improve your life than you may think. Anyways, that'll do it for this video. I'll wrap it up here. If you enjoyed it, or if this resonated with any of you, feel free to give this video a like or subscribe. And you know the drill. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.